Have you ever opened your banking app late at night just to check something quickly, and then your chest tightens a little? You see the credit card balance, you see the minimum payment due, and there's this strange relief. It's manageable, it's small, you can handle that, so you pay it. And for a moment, it feels like you've done the responsible thing. You avoided the late fee, you stayed in good standing, you kept everything under control, but a month later, the balance is still there, almost untouched, maybe even slightly higher. And that's when the quiet frustration starts creeping in, because technically, you're doing what you're supposed to do. So why does it feel like you're never getting ahead? Here's the uncomfortable truth most people don't talk about. The minimum payment isn't designed to free you. It's designed to keep you comfortable. And comfort can be expensive. Most people think debt is a math problem. Interest rates, percentages, amortization schedules. But it's rarely about math. It's about psychology. The minimum payment is a psychological anchor. When a credit card statement tells you that you only need to pay $73 this month, your brain locks onto that number. It becomes the acceptable amount. It lowers the emotional urgency of the full balance. If the total is $4,200, that number feels heavy, overwhelming. It activates stress. But $73? That feels manageable, almost harmless. So you pay $73. The problem isn't that you're irresponsible. The problem is that your brain is wired to reduce discomfort in the short term. We're built to solve immediate threats, not long-term compounding ones. Interest, however, is patient. Let's say you have that $4,200 balance at 22% interest. If you only make minimum payments, which are often around 2% of the balance, you could be paying for years, sometimes a decade. And the total interest might end up being thousands of dollars. But here's what makes the trap so subtle. The system doesn't scream at you. It doesn't punish you loudly. It just quietly stretches time. And time is where most people lose. You work hard, you pay your bills, you're juggling rent, groceries, maybe family obligations. You don't feel reckless, you feel stretched. So when the statement offers you a small number, it feels merciful. And that's where the misunderstanding begins. We're taught that as long as we make payments on time, we're good with money. And in a technical sense, that's true. You're not defaulting, you're not missing deadlines. But being current is not the same as progressing. There's a difference between staying afloat and moving forward. I've noticed something interesting when I talk to people about debt. Almost nobody plans to stay in it. Everyone says, I'll pay it off more aggressively once things calm down. Once work gets less stressful. Once I get that raise. Once the car is paid off. Once the kids are older. But life rarely calms down. It just changes shape. And minimum payments quietly absorb your margin. The deeper issue is that minimum payments create an illusion of control. You feel compliant, responsible, safe. But mathematically, you're mostly paying interest in the early years. Very little of that payment touches the principal. It's like running on a treadmill that moves just fast enough to keep you in place. You're expending energy, but the scenery doesn't change. This is where behavioral economics comes in. There's something called present bias. We naturally prioritize today's comfort over tomorrow's freedom. An extra $200 toward debt feels painful right now. It might mean eating out less, delaying a purchase, saying no to something that brings short-term joy. But the benefit? That's abstract. It lives in the future, and our brains discount future rewards. So the minimum payment becomes the compromise. It protects today's comfort while quietly taxing tomorrow's peace. And over time, that tax adds up. But here's the turning point most people never consider. What if the goal isn't just to avoid damage, but to reduce drag? Debt isn't just a number on a screen. It's mental bandwidth. It's low-grade stress in the background. It's the subtle hesitation when opportunities show up. A new job in a different city, starting a small side project, taking time off. When you're carrying revolving debt, those decisions feel heavier. Not impossible, just heavier. The moment you shift from minimum thinking to momentum thinking, everything changes. Instead of asking, what's the least I can do to stay okay? You start asking, what would actually move the needle? That question is powerful. Maybe it's an extra $100 a month. Maybe it's one focused 6-month sprint where you redirect bonuses, tax refunds, or side income toward principal. It doesn't have to be extreme. It just has to break the pattern. Because momentum does something psychologically important. When you see the balance drop meaningfully, your brain responds differently. You feel progress. And progress fuels consistency far better than fear ever could. There's also something calming about reducing variables in your life. One less bill, one less interest calculation, one less due date. Financial peace isn't about perfection. It's about simplicity. Now, I'm not pretending this is easy. If you're living paycheck to paycheck, the idea of paying more than the minimum can feel unrealistic. Survival comes first. But even then, awareness matters. If you can't pay extra right now, you can still understand the game you're in. You can avoid adding new balances. You can protect your future self from compounding stress. And when income increases, even slightly, you can choose to increase payments before lifestyle quietly expands to fill the gap. That's another trap. As soon as we earn more, we tend to upgrade something. Better apartment, nicer car, more convenience. There's nothing wrong with enjoying your money. But if debt is still charging 20% in the background, that interest is quietly outperforming most investments you could make. Paying down high-interest debt is one of the few financial moves that offers a guaranteed return equal to the interest rate. That's not flashy, but it's powerful. The shift isn't about becoming obsessed with debt. It's about refusing to normalize stagnation. When you stop treating the minimum as a target and start seeing it as a warning label, your relationship with money changes. You move from reactive to intentional, and something surprising happens. Anxiety starts to shrink, because clarity reduces fear. When you know your numbers, when you have a plan, even a slow one, you regain a sense of agency. You're no longer passively complying with the system, you're actively navigating it. So the next time you open your banking app and see that small minimum payment, pause for a second. Ask yourself, is this helping me move forward, or just helping me stay comfortable? There's no shame in where you are. Most of us were never taught how these systems really work. We learned through trial, through stress, through experience. But once you see the trap, you don't have to stay in it. Progress doesn't require perfection. It doesn't require sudden discipline or a dramatic life overhaul. It just requires a small shift in intention. A little more than the minimum. A little more awareness. A little more alignment between today's choices and tomorrow's freedom. And over time, those small shifts compound too. Not into interest owed, but into peace earned.